Hi yogis, got another little flow for you here. So again, just take the time to warm up. So we'll start with some cat-cows. So fingers are spread, hands underneath shoulders, knees hip distance apart. Breathing in, head coming up, tailbone coming up, tummy falling down towards the mat. Breathing out, pushing up through our hands, bringing our head down, tailbone tucking under, spine pushing up to the ceiling. Breathing in, head comes up, tailbone comes up. Breathing out, tucking our head under, tailbone comes under, spine pushing up towards the ceiling. Just take a few of these, just warming through your spine. Taking any movements that you might need. Coming back to centre. Let's bring our right hand out to the end of our mat. Breathing in as we draw that hand back, bringing our bum back onto our heels. Breathing out as the arm comes up and over. Breathing in, pulling that hand back, bringing our bum back to our heels. Breathing out as that arm comes over. Just taking some more of these, nice and slowly. Remember to keep breathing. Bringing that hand back to centre, taking that on the other side, left arm comes out, breathing in as we bring that arm back, bringing our weight back onto our heels, coming up and over. Breathing in as we come back, breathing out as we come up and over. One more on this side. Back to centre. Let's tuck our toes under, bring our weight back to our heels, coming up into our downward dog. So checking that our fingers are spread, pressing that weight into our index finger, heel of our hand, shoulders coming away from our ears, head nice and relaxed. Heels coming down towards the mat, knees can be bent, hips coming up and back. Taking a minute just to walk through our dog, so just bringing heels down towards the mat, just stretching out the backs of our legs. Coming to rest here. Taking a nice deep breath in through our nose, out through our mouth. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, stepping our feet up to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, hands coming to shins, back nice and straight, head looking forward. Breathing out as we fold forward. Breathing in, pushing up through our feet, hands coming up to the ceiling, hands to heart centre. Breathing in, head coming up, arms coming up, sorry. Breathing out, folding forward. Breathing in, halfway lift. Breathing out, hands coming down, stepping back into plank. Always the option to drop your knees into half plank. Taking a breath here, lowering down to the mat. Untucking our toes, breathing in as we come into our low cobra, peeling our head and chest off the mat, elbows pointing backwards. Breathing out to lower down, tucking our toes under, pushing ourselves up and back into our downward dog. Taking a minute here, pressing into that index finger, the heel of our hand. Shoulders are relaxed, hips up and back, heels coming down towards the mat. Breathing in as we come up onto our toes, breathing out as we lower down. Breathing in, coming up onto our toes, breathing out as we lower down. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, bringing our right foot through, dropping that left knee, untucking those left toes, coming into our low lunge. Arms coming up. Taking a breath here, pushing down into our feet. Bringing our right hand to our right hip, left arm coming over into our side bend. Coming back up to centre, left hand comes down, right arm coming up into our side twist. Bringing that right hand down, tucking our left toes under, lifting that left knee, bringing our right foot back into downward dog. Taking a breath here. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, bringing that left foot through, dropping that right knee and tucking those right toes, coming up into our low lunge, pressing down through our feet, bringing that left hand to our left hip, right arm coming over, into our side bend, back to centre, right hand comes down, left arm coming up into our side twist. Bringing that hand down, untucking our right toes, lifting that right knee, bringing our left foot back into downward dog. Taking a breath here. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, stepping our feet to the top of the mat, into our halfway lift. Breathing out as we lower down into forward fold. Breathing in, coming up to standing. Hands to heart centre. Breathing in, hands coming up. Breathing out, forward fold. Breathing in, halfway lift. Breathing out, hands coming down, stepping back into plank. Fingers are spread, hands underneath our shoulders, pushing back into our heels, nice straight line from our shoulders to our feet. Coming down to the mat, bending our elbows, pointing towards the back of the room. Untucking our toes, coming into the back bend of your choice, cobra or upward dog. If you're in upward dog, you've weights on your feet, hips are raised. Lowering down, tucking our toes under, pushing ourselves up and back into downward dog. Pressing into that index finger, shoulders are relaxed, hips are up and back. Taking a breath here, bending our knees, looking towards our hands, stepping that right foot through, keeping our back heel lifted, coming into our high lunge, pressing down into both feet. Okay, taking a breath here. Bringing our hands down to frame that front foot, stepping back into downward dog. Taking a breath here, bending our knees, looking towards our hands, stepping through with our left foot, keeping that right heel raised, coming up into our high lunge on the other side. Pressing down into both feet, bringing our hands down, stepping back into downward dog, taking a breath here. Dropping our knees, mat width apart, bringing our toes together, coming back into child's pose, head coming down onto the mat, taking a breath, letting our tummy relax, hips relax. Breathing in, coming back up onto all fours, bringing our knees back under our hips, tucking our toes under. Weight coming back onto our heels, up into downward dog. Bringing our weight forward into plank. Holding there for a second, bending our knees, bringing our weight back onto our heels, back into downward dog. Breathing in as we come forward into plank. Bending our knees, bringing our weight back onto our heels, hips coming up and back into downward dog. One more time, coming forward into plank, breathing in. Bending our knees, bringing our weight back onto our heels, hips coming up and back into downward dog. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, bringing our right foot through, dropping that back knee, untucking our toes, back into our low lunge. Bringing our hands to heart centre, hooking our left elbow over our right knee, into our side twist. Coming back to centre, arms coming up. Bringing those hands down to frame that front foot, tucking those back toes under, lifting that back knee, back into downward dog. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, bringing that left leg through, dropping our right knee, untucking our right toes, coming up into our low lunge. Hands coming to heart centre, hooking that right elbow over our left knee into our side twist. Coming back to centre, hands coming down to frame that back foot, lifting up that right knee, stepping back into downward dog, taking a nice deep breath here in through the nose, sighing it out through the mouth. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, stepping to the top of the mat, coming into our halfway lift. Breathing out as we lower down into forward fold. Breathing in as we push up through our feet, hands coming up to centre. Taking a breath here. Let's step back into our warrior two, so your right foot's pointing forward, stepping back with our left foot. So your left foot's at a side angle to the parallel to the side of the mat, bending into that front knee, check it's not falling in, bringing our arms up to a T shape, looking over that front finger, turning our palms up to the ceiling, bringing them down as we lower our shoulders, just pulling back on that backhand, bringing our shoulders above our hips, breathing here, coming into our reverse warrior, bringing that right arm up, left hand coming down our left thigh. Back to warrior two. Cartwheeling our hands over that front foot, turning that back foot, stepping back into downward dog. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, stepping up to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Breathing out as we fold forward. Breathing in, coming up to standing. Hands to heart centre. We'll take that on the other side. I'm just going to come to this side of the mat so I haven't got my back to you. So keeping our left foot forward, we're going to step back with our right foot. So the side of your right foot is parallel with the edge of the mat. Bending into that front knee, checking it's not falling in. Arms coming up to a T position. Looking over those front fingers, turning our palms up to the ceiling, lowering them down. Pulling back on that backhand so our shoulders are above our hips. Coming into our reverse warrior, bringing our left arm up, right arm coming down our thigh. Keeping breathing. Coming back to our warrior two. Cartwheeling our hands over our front foot, turning on that back foot, stepping back into downward dog. Taking a breath here. Bending our knees, looking towards our hands, stepping to the top of the mat, coming into our halfway lift. Breathing out as we fold forward. Breathing in as we come up to standing.